Hi there, welcome to UniversityNinja.com's video podcast. This is podcast number 3. Today we're going to be talking about a very new topic today, and that is Windows 7. Now, a lot of you have probably heard about Windows 7, if you haven't, well, you might start thinking about buying it and start using it. It just came out recently, a couple of days ago. And Windows 7 is pretty much the new Windows Vista. A lot of people say it's what Windows Vista should have been. And for many of you who might be using Windows Vista now, you might have experienced a really sluggish system at times. Things didn't really run very well. You had a lot of drivers issues. But, over the upgrades, such as SP1 and SP2, a lot of the different issues that Windows Vista did have were corrected, for the most part. However, if you want to upgrade your system to Windows 7, I would recommend it. I've been using it for some time now, and it actually runs very well. And if you have a lower-end computer or lower-end laptop, you will definitely see the benefits of Windows 7. And if you are a netbook user, there is a way to actually install Windows 7 without a CD drive. You just need to go through some tutorials through it. It's actually not too bad. I'll probably try and put a short article together to give you some links to where you can go and watch some video tutorials to help you do that. So today I just want to quickly sort of demo some of the features in Windows 7 and give you an idea of how it works, so that you can decide whether or not you want to try it out and buy it. Now, just a quick thing to mention, if you're a university student, you can get Windows 7 for $30. So you might want to try and look into that, and it's a really good bargain. It's really cheap. I think you have the option of getting the Home Premium or Professional Edition, so really I recommend that you get on that ASAP. Alright, well, what you'll notice here in Windows 7 is a very different task bar. The menu bar here is a little thicker than normal, and that's because Windows 7 is a touch-based operating system as well. So when you have a touch screen, it's actually easier to touch some of the buttons here, which are your icons and programs. Now, some of the great things about Windows 7 is really how it organizes information, and that's probably the biggest selling point of Windows 7 right now, something that Windows Vista could not do. And for those of you who are familiar with spaces in Macs, in OS X, or Apple's operating system, they had spaces, and you can actually organize your information. But Windows 7 does their thing, and it works really well, and I definitely see a benefit to it. So let me demo it for you. So, for instance, let's say you have a bunch of Word documents open, and if we look at our Microsoft Word application here, you will see that there are 3 tabs showing here and 2 underneath the main one. If you hover over it, it'll actually show you the different documents that are open. That's not how it used to be in Windows Vista. You wouldn't get a preview like that. Now, if you actually hover over each of the different windows, your documents will sort of preview itself. And if you want to see a particular document, you just click on it, and then it'll show up. So, and if you want to find another document, just click on the icon again and just sort of preview all of them. And that works for all your different applications. If you open up a lot of different browsers, you can definitely use that as well. So it's a really great tool to find different programs that you're running. If you have the tendency of running a lot of applications all at once, it gives the opportunity to sort of organize a lot of chaos that one might have. And I think that's a really great thing. So another issue is sometimes some folks end up opening a lot of windows, and that happens a lot, and I'm sure that you probably experience the same thing too, maybe. But if, for instance, let's say you had like 6 windows open and you wanted to hide all of them except for one of them, you would just need to shake one of these windows, and Windows 7 completely hides all the other useless windows there, which is pretty great. I mean, it's pretty cool. Another thing you can do is, if you want to hide all the windows quickly and just see the desktop, is if you move to the right hand side of the time and the date, it will actually hide the windows that are there, which is another neat feature if you have widgets in the background. And that's another great thing. The widgets are handled a lot better in Windows 7, so I would definitely check those out as well. for those of you who might think, well, the Windows taskbar is way too thick, you can actually shrink it to make it easier for you. And I suggest if you have a laptop or a netbook to do this. What you want to do is right click on the taskbar somewhere, click properties, and use small icons. I'll show you how it looks like. Everything just gets miniaturized as far as the icons, but all the same features are there. If you want to hover over something, it'll still show up. But I like to keep it like this because I'm using my desktop, so it's your preference, whatever you think works best for you. And you can easily drag and drop these programs on here onto your taskbar. So if you want to add programs and pin them down specifically onto your taskbar, you can do that as well. Another great feature in Windows 7 is the ability to organize your windows. So if I hover over this and I drag it to the left-hand corner, left-hand side, it will automatically split itself in half in portrait mode, I guess, and split it in half. If I also can take this window and I want to, split this in half as well, I would just move it over to the screen and it'll do the same thing. However, since I'm using a dual screen, that won't happen. But if I click Windows, I use this shortcut, Windows right arrow, it will mash it into the right hand side, so you can sort of view two windows simultaneously. This is useful if you're writing a Word document and you need to view something on the right hand side as well. So that's a really great nifty feature. Also, if you just take your window and just push it up like this, it will maximize it, and that's another great feature as well. Also, Windows 7 handles your desktop background a lot better. They have some really great themes, and I believe you can download them. It also has the ability to change backgrounds automatically, so you don't have to change them all the time. But let's just take a quick look. So if you click Personalize, there's a lot of different themes, and if you click on it, it'll change pretty quickly, I think. There you go. So they have a lot of different themes in Windows 7, and it's really great. So there's it's a lot easier to customize your background and how you sort of want your operating system to look. So that's a really nice feature, and you can create your own themes as well with different backgrounds. So definitely check that out as well. So there's a lot of other great features in Windows 7, and I hope you have the opportunity to download it and try out the operating system if you didn't get to try it out. And I mean, it's a really great new upgrade, and honestly, Windows Vista should have been this, but all these new changes will definitely make your experience much better. It'll help you write things and organize your information a lot easily. So especially for those that are using netbooks, I think this is really useful too, as it will run a lot smoother. Although I hear the battery life is a little compromised when you use Windows 7, I noticed that with my laptop, but I don't think it's that bad. But if you have one of those netbooks or laptops that run about 7 hours of battery life, I don't think you'll have to be concerned about Windows 7 draining any of that battery life away. So that sort of ends this podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or if you'd like to send us any information that you have, or if you'd like to write your own articles or send information or tips, please send us an email at ninjauniversity@gmail.com. Again, my name is Danny, and I hope you enjoyed it. And just listen out and wait for the next podcast to come up. Usually I like to run and do the podcast over the weekends, usually since I'm busy with school. But, best of luck to all of you out there, and definitely keep listening in and tell your friends.